So the title of today's talk is How the One Became Many. Yeah? So if you've checked out my series on the sun, you know I am being the Son of God, whatever the word son means. But all we know is there is a physical representation of all that is consciousness, which we call the sun, yeah, the sun. We have stories in every culture, up and down, everywhere, anywhere you go, which talks about this very thing we call the sun. It's been told in allegory and metaphor to describe the literal Son of God, the literal Son of all that is, coming into human form. My definition is the Son of God represents the Son of God, call it Jesus Christ, whatever you want, represents an actualized or enlightened version of the physical aspect on his journey to return back to unity consciousness, returning back to oneness. That's my definition of it. You're free to have your own definition, but I think it's a pretty strong place to start. So I've spoken about the sun extensively and how the sun is literally a reflection of you, traveling through the board game of life, traveling through the houses, embarking on its journey, coming to full awareness of being, and enlightenment, self-actualization. Now, so it's a good place to start. You go check out the videos, they're pretty good. So going further from that point, the natural question is, so if the sun only travels, even though we have this great big sky, from our perspective the sun only travels through the ecliptic, this band across the sky, which has 14 houses or 13, but if you don't know enough, you're probably going to think it's only 12 houses. Now, why those 14 houses? Why those 14 archetypes? Why? And also, how does the light of consciousness, which is not bound by the houses, but just the ecliptic represents the circuitry, or the film roll, if you like, through which the light of consciousness is shining through to create the physical realm, and creating you, because without you there's no physical world. You are the actual the literal kind of reflection of that light. You are literally it. So without you, the whole place switches off. Okay, cool. So the band represents the circuitry or the film roll that it shines light through. So there are two questions I want to tackle today. The first one is, how does the light shining through the film roll or the circuitry of the archetypes, what we know as the ecliptic in this reality, how does the light turn into a physical being? And how does that light turn into different aspects of the one thing? So, first things first, what you have to understand is this. When I say something there's one of something, one, or a whole, because a whole is one, because half of that whole thing is not one. So in order for something to be one, it has to be a whole, okay. Now, when you think about it, that means that anything that is a whole can be divided into parts. Any questions? Okay, good. So it doesn't matter how small it is or how large it is. As long as it's one unit of something, it can be split into different aspects, So let's go back to my lectures on the emergent point of consciousness, yeah, the black hole of the eye and the emergent point of consciousness within your pineal or within your mind, yeah, reflecting back to itself. That one thing can be split into different aspects, okay? So the emergent point of consciousness, although it's a point, it's got different aspects to it. It can be cut into halves, quarters, eighths, sixteenths. It can go on forever, yeah, literally. So then that means that whatever thing that is one can be split. So if we look at the sun being the physical embodiment in this realm of the real eye of consciousness, that the true I am in a fractalized form here, yeah, that thing represents the all of everything, which means that that physical thing can be split, yeah, into halves, quarters, eighths, sixteenths, so on and so forth, yeah. Okay, so if that thing can be split, then it kind of stands to reason that the 13 or 14 different houses or the zodiac signs are symbolic representations of fundamental energies, yeah, or fundamental aspects of the one thing, yeah, distilled from the one. Any questions? Cool. So that one thing can be distilled into or split into different aspects. It can be distilled into different things. So think of one whole thing and we can distill it, and think of it like in terms of like crude oil, yeah. Crude oil is one thing, yeah, it's one thing, one substance, but yet we can get petrol from it, we can get fucking all sorts of stuff. We can get stuff to make roads from it, we can get all sorts, yeah, but it's one substance. We can distill it to get so many things from the one thing, okay, even though it is one substance, yeah. So the same applies to the real eye of consciousness, right? So when you think about it, these archetypes, yeah, that we know as the zodiac houses or the archetypes of the ecliptic, yeah, they exist because they map the different aspects of the one thing, yeah. Okay, because in the realm of the physical, which is consciousness and consciousness alone, I told you in a video back along that God is all there is. Consciousness is all there is, yeah. There's nothing here which is not consciousness. If you think otherwise, not today, bro. If you think otherwise, up to you, bro. Anyway, so in essence, the zodiac reflects the seasons, yeah, the elements, you know, fire, earth, air, water, the ether, yeah, and the modes of it, you know, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. All of these aspects, yeah, are aspects of the one thing. We experience that in the physical, so it stands to reason that if one consciousness can actually fractalize itself into elements that can't be divided past the fundamental point of air, water, fire, and earth, and the ether, right, then it stands to reason that the archetypes would also be a reflection or reflections of those very things, yeah. Also, the very elements have modes, yeah, cardinal, fixed, or mutable, which also means that, because again, they are aspects of this very same one thing, which means that the archetypes will also reflect these very same modes, right? So that means that the very light of consciousness shining through this film roll, yeah, because when we watch the film, we see fixed things, mutable things, and cardinal things. We see the elements and we see seasons, yeah, which reflect the same things. So then it stands to reason that because we're seeing that on the projector fucking screen, those are aspects of the very same one thing. Okay, cool. So it can be then deduced that the very same one thing can be split into different aspects. Not only that, it has different angles or perspectives of divine expression. Yeah? Again, when we observe nature, because what's the first rule of the Hermetic principles? As above, so below. So when we look at nature and we see the will to live in all life, some of it ranging from impulsive individuality, transcendent unity, aggression, passiveness, all the rest of it, it can also be deduced that these are perspectives. Wow. These are unique angles or perspectives of this very same one expression, because we see it on the projector screen that we are in right now, called the physical realm. So, like a circuit board, yeah, the zodiac acts like a mechanism, yeah, of differentiation, or a distillation system, yeah, which filters the light of source energy into unique configurations of its own experience. What does that mean in everyday speech? That just means that we have this super bright light, yeah, for want of a better word, that's the word we can use, yeah, light. And this light is shining through a band, yeah, or like a film roll. Now, the film roll itself hasn't got anything on it, but because the very thing, that the one thing that's shining through the film roll has different perspectives, different angles, and different aspects to the very thing, yeah, the film roll acts as a kind of distiller, if you like, or a mechanism to differentiate all the different aspects of the one thing. So it's almost like the film roll is an intuitive or intelligent film roll, which goes, okay, so super bright light, I realize that you have a fixed aspect, you have a mutable aspect, you have a cardinal aspect, you have an aspect which is related to fire, water, air, and earth, and the ether, right? Okay, not only that, you also have an aspect of different angles, if you like. So there's an impulsive aspect to it, there's an individual aspect to it, there's a social aspect to you, there's a transcendent unity aspect to you, there is all sorts, yeah, there are all these different aspects to the one thing, because all these things are evident in our reality. So I'm reverse engineering reality to you to go back to source. Okay, cool. So based on that, the film then goes, okay, the film itself is intelligent. Yeah, the film roll itself, the mechanism itself, then allows the one light, yeah, almost like a disco ball, to go, okay, when you shine at this angle, we will express this archetype. We will express this archetype, this archetype, this archetype, this element, this aspect, this position, yeah? Because collectively it's just one thing. Are you getting it? Cool. So in that understanding, you realize that, oh snap, so the one thing is shining itself through this ecliptic band and expressing different aspects of itself. Excellent, we've got there. You get it? Cool. So how then does that translate to physicality, someone will ask? And that's a great question. You gotta realize that whilst the one thing is shining through the light, yeah, the thing also travels, yeah, with fractalized versions of its own self, if you like, yeah. So it travels with stars, yeah, around it. It's almost like an atom with protons and neutrons and electrons, yeah, around it. No different. But the electron can't be separate from the element. It's part of it, even though it appears to be separate, but it's not. So that's how I need you to think about the wandering stars. Guys, today we're doing some heavy lifting, okay? So sit down, relax your feet, and let's get into it, bro. So that's how it looks. So if you think of the sun as some sort of like element, yeah, its electrons, yeah, that are floating around its center, its nucleus, yeah, are the wandering stars. Fuck NASA forever, bro. Nobody can argue with me on this. Now, these things that are traveling around the core, which is the sun, which is the representation of consciousness itself. If you don't want to listen to me, go and speak to Imhotep and all these, you know, Hermes Trismegistus and all these people. They will tell you what I'm telling you is facts, bro. So yeah, anyway, so these things are traveling, these electrons, if you like, that are traveling around the nucleus called the sun, they act as modifiers, just like you'll find in any other element in chemistry, right? So they fine-tune the archetypal energies, right? So let's say Saturn, we know Saturn to be restrictive. I gave you a whole fucking thing on the Saturnian matrix, go check it out. It's bang bang, 10 out of 10, bro. So Saturn's restrictive influence on a Leo sun, for instance, creates a different expression rather than Jupiter's expansive influence on a Leo sun. Does that make sense? So let me explain that in everyday speech. So you have a light shining through a film roll. The film roll has 14 different aspects. So we can say, for simplicity's sake, yeah, the one thing has 14 different aspects, angles, or 14 different constituents, yeah, 14 different ways to distill this one powerful energy into fragments. Yeah, you get 14. Cool. But out of the 14, because the actual light shining through these 14 houses also travels with energies around it, and these energies act as modifiers. Think of it as like volume settings, yeah. So, you know, Mercury will adjust the kind of like it adjusts the amount of light that kind of shines through. Mars also has an impact, or like a dimmer switch. So all these wandering stars, yeah, or if you like, electrons that are traveling around the core of the sun, the nucleus of the sun, yeah, which basically are not separate, it's all part of the one thing. They adjust how the light performs. Yeah, they dim it a specific way, they let it shine a specific way. So even though this thing can break itself into 14 different ways, based on the electrons that are traveling with it, that dim and adjust its light, yeah, and adjust its kind of expression, pitch, you know, whatever, it creates a multitude of different expressions, even within the 14. So you've got 14 different ways the thing can express. But because the thing is traveling with elements that modify how the light performs, now you're in the realm of tens of thousands of different expressions. Do you see? If you don't see it, I can't help you. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, here is for high level. Yeah, this is for adepts. So if you're neophytes, maybe go do some more work. But this is high level stuff, yeah? Okay, cool. So that's how it works. So that now creates more aspects. So a Scorpio is not just a Scorpio. Based on the elements that were traveling around the sun, which were dimming and adjusting the performance of the sunlight coming through that house, means that the Scorpio, its expression is totally different. So that thing alone, those elements alone, and those elements are moving. Some are super quick speed like Mercury, and some move very, very slowly. 30-year orbits, 100-year orbits, and not to mention the other like outliers like your comets, yeah, which are also wanderers, yeah, and what do you call it, exoplanets, but they're not exoplanets, they're wandering stars as well, because there's no coincidence, there's no fucking such thing. NASA's full of shit. So the thing has multiple energies traveling around it, and all of them have an impact on it. I think I made a video back along, You Were Born of the Stars or some shit like that, where I did a visual on this. So go and check it out, because I essentially said that it's impossible for your configuration to be repeated ever in the history of life, because when, say, a person's born this very second, right, the next second the whole celestial landscape has changed. Mercury is no longer where it was, Saturn's moved, a comet has fucking gone past, a shooting star has gone past, so it's changed. So even if two people are born 2 seconds apart, yeah, they are totally different configurations, totally different personalities, totally different everything. Not only that, the very parents that birthed them are also subject to this very same rule, so they are also randomized. So there's no two people that are born the same. Even it doesn't matter that no two people can be born under the same celestial conditions. Put it that way, yeah. Put it that way. And if anybody on God's green earth can argue with me, they can come. But yeah, bro, don't waste your time. So yeah, so like I said, so the planets and the wanderers, they act as modifiers. Yeah, so we've gone through that. So not only that, in the physical world, yeah, it's impossible for two configurations. So now we've got the 14 houses. Now we have a multitude of different ways for the light to express through the 14 houses, yeah. So that completely changes the landscape. Now we're in the realm of tens of thousands, millions, in fact, of ways for the very same one light to be expressed. Now, so that light is now being expressed onto the projector screen in the physical world. Not only that, in the physical world as well, yeah, no two configurations can be born in the same place. So if a mother goes into labor at point X, even in a building, yeah, and they all give birth in the same hospital, yeah, it's all different floors, it's all different spaces. So even looking at it from the Saturnian matrix grid, every single point that the light comes through the ecliptic, modified by the elements around it or the wandering stars, hits the projector screen, i.e. the physical realm, at a unique spot, and no two configurations can occupy that spot at the same time. It's impossible. Bring who you like, it can't be argued. Bro, you know my shit, man. I'm not even gonna waste my time. You understand what I'm saying? So no two people can occupy the same space. So even if there are two women that go into labor at the same time, in the physical realm, they are not in the same location. Yeah, celestially, there might be similarities, but because there is even two, because you occupy position X in the physical realm, let's say they're side by side, yeah, there's still a distance between them. The children are not born, the children will not land, those two kids will not land on the same spot in the matrix. Do you understand? Even if there's 10 centimeters between them, celestially, there is a huge change in the landscape. Do you understand? I'm showing you how your configuration is built, because the minute that light hits the physical realm, it takes form, because it's creative energy. Just like how the minute the fucking shutter on a camera opens and the light hits the film, it etches and it becomes something. Yeah, it's no different to this. So the shutter opens, the image hits the back of the film, it becomes an image, it becomes a thing. It becomes a real thing. Even though it was blank before, now it's become a thing. So in the same way, when the shutters open, yeah, your mom goes into labor, yeah, think of it as the shutter opening, the portal's opened, yeah. When the light of consciousness comes through your mom and it hits the physical plane, bosh, you become a thing. One day, you people will see it and you'll be like, I told you, bro. Anyway, let me carry on. So, we've covered the ecliptic, we've covered the distillation process, and we have now covered the interplay and the modifiers, yeah? Because alignments, retrogrades, the presence of them, the non-presence of them, they all have an impact on how the light shines through the ecliptic and hits the physical realm, yeah? So, in terms of the physical form, numerical and geometric harmonics play a massive role. What am I talking about? When your mom actually goes into labor and the portal, your mom is a portal, yeah? All of you, we all have mothers. That means we all came through a portal. So those fuckers that talk about that stupid shit, you know what I'm talking about, because YouTube like to fuck with my shit. You're all dummies, bro. You are literally dummies. Because how can a non-portal claim to be a portal? You are a fucker. Yeah, it's like a window claiming to be a door. You're not a door. Stupid. Anyway, so numerical and geometric harmonics play a part, because this whole place is matrix code. Yeah, you see colors and sunlight and fucking park and birds and trees, but you are literally interacting with infinite potential expressing as those things. There's just number codes all around you, bro. The minute you go out here, you'll understand it. I've seen it, so I know what I'm talking about. So sacred geometry, numerology, harmonic frequencies play a role in how consciousness crystallizes into form. Every single one of you and every single being i.e. every single expression of the multitude, the millions of ways consciousness can express itself, yeah, crystallizes into form. Like I use the camera example, yeah, the minute the light hits the physical realm, it crystallizes into form. But that location has a specific code. That code is embedded into your configuration. That's your dice number. That's the code that applies to your config. The only time that code changes is when you die. Yeah, so when I went out of here, I came back, my whole shit was reset, null and void. So connections, people, places, things, friendships, relationships, all of that before my death crumbled right in front of me, because that code no longer applied. Do you understand? Because I was given a new code. And in fact, the location of my crash where I came out of the car, when I came out of the car, it was like I was being born, actually, because the car was completely fucking fucked. I had to crawl out of it almost like I was being born. It was crazy, bro. It was crazy. It was like I was being born again, bro, literally. Now, that location, the numerical code there and the sacred geometry aligned with that place, because everything is geometry and numbers, if you didn't know, and the frequencies, yeah. Now, that became my new location, or the new code for my configuration, the new dice number and the new code for my avatar. Do you understand? If you want to argue, I'll give you an example, but don't argue with me. One example. So you were born at a specific time, a specific place, specific hour, a specific location of where the sun was, plus the modifiers, and all of these things have numbers. Yeah, you also have a position in your family, which is a number. You have a position in your nuclear family, which is also a number. You have a position within society, which is a number. You have a position in the country, in the tribe, and you also have a position in the wider gene pool. You are a number. So you are a number. That's your dice roll, bro. Like I told you in a previous fucking video. So you see, that's how your configuration gets randomized. Your avatar has never happened before. It will never happen again. Do you understand? And I'll say this with absolute confidence. Those of us that have NDEs and come back, we don't even come back as ourselves, bro. Like, I'll show you one day. We'll link up, man. We'll link up soon, man. Hopefully summertime, man. We'll link up. We'll do something. Yeah, trust me. I'm preparing something for the Jedis, man. Trust me. You know my shit, bro. You know I don't do fucking half measures. It'll be fucking dope as fuck. Anyway, me before the crash and me after the crash are two different people. Like, we look similar, but we are so different. So it's almost like a production line of cars, right? The chassis numbers are different. They're the same car, but they are different. You understand? So yeah. Now the next question then becomes, you always talk about pain. We're here to learn lessons and evolve, and choices, karma, all these sorts of things. But consciousness is non-linear, okay? So then a being, and when I say a being, there's only one being in existence, okay? Let me say that one more time for those in the back of the class. There's only one being in existence, and based on all that I've told you, where is that being? I'm taking answers. Don't let me call names, bro. That being, yeah, is represented by the sun, the light of the world. Consciousness in, if you can call it, physical form. The physical embodiment of the real eye of consciousness, fractalized for our perception to understand. There's only one being, there's only one sun, but that one sun, that one light is what's energizing and lighting up the whole world. Even from that perspective, you can see what I'm saying, but I'm giving you the metaphysical explanation. So that one being, going through the 14 houses, expressing with all its different dimmers and modifiers, i.e. the wandering stars, which are just how it shines through the lights, the one has now become many, which means that certain combinations inadvertently will make poor choices. based on the combination of its archetypes and its modifiers. Okay, cool. So naturally, we are the ones that fucked up. We are the ones that have abused ourselves. We are the ones that have murdered ourselves, hurt ourselves, because we can't hurt the essence within us. Yeah, we are only hurting reflections of ourselves. And when we do that, when we leave this place, we come to the realization and the true knowing of all that is. And when that happens, we're like, fuck, stupid what I just did there. Oh, let me go and fix that. You know? So again, the whole thing is scrambled, and then we get a second opportunity to fix it. Everybody that's alive today is here to try and balance out some karma. Argue with your breath. Facts. Do you understand? So the one being has selected experiences based on its modifiers in the 14 houses that shape their journey through the board game called life, through the houses, because it's our own reflection. And this thing I'm talking about with the modifiers and the one essence, if you're actually observant and astute, you will see it in your life. That's why we have humors. You know, there are people that are like sanguine, there are people that are choleric, there are people that, you know, are melancholic. You know, there are people that are extroverted, there are people that are introverted, there are people that are, you know, highly expressive. You know, there are people that are highly intuitive, there are people that are highly connected with others, there are people that all sorts. You have 2 siblings, 4 siblings, and they're all fucking completely different, but they came from the same nutsack. Did you catch what I just said there? So the same one nutsack that is producing 10,000 million sperm, yeah, the one nutsack, yeah, has the ability to split into many, because all the sperms are not the same. And when they connect with the eggs are also not the same, because last month's egg was not this month's egg, right? And when they connect, it creates a configuration. And every single time it happens is randomized, right? So the one entity, the man, yeah, itself is producing beings, yeah, which align directly with what I'm just telling you, with the sun actually using its light to crystallize into form in the physical realm. Any questions? Okay. So there's also another aspect where we can say maybe cultural and environment plays a factor. The celestial imprint is primary, yeah? It's a primary thing. Nobody can argue with that. You can't tell me nothing, yeah? But there's also a cultural matrix a person is born into. And it acts as an additional layer of conditioning, further shaping the identity. So like I said, with the camera, shutter opens, light hits the thing, the image is formed, yeah? But once we take the image out, yeah, let's say we place it into a computer. The computer is now the environment. We can edit the image, we can do this with sepia, black and white, blah, 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 laminate it, right? But the layer of conditioning doesn't actually change the core of the image. It just adds to the image. So your environment, your conditioning, yeah, your story isn't really you. Like, for the trillionth time, it's not you. Why identify with it? So it's almost like a picture, and the picture, let's say the picture's sentient. The picture's like, oh, yeah, I'm laminated. Yeah, I'm better than you because I'm laminated. You're stupid, bro. Better than me, how? The core image is what's important, bro. Because if there was no core image, the lamination means fucking dog poop. Okay. So the randomness is something that we can't run away from. That just proves that consciousness is, you know, it's like a disco ball, you know, just pumping out images onto the wall, yeah? All through all different configs, all different fucking modifications, you know? And we could look at this as like quantum fluctuations, yeah? And, you know, all these strange combinations. And that's what introduces the variability in the game. Every game requires variability. Otherwise, it's not a game. Imagine the Premier League, right? Or like the NBA or whatever, and just two teams played all the time. It wouldn't make sense. Or they weren't allowed to trade players, or they weren't allowed to use strategies. They only allowed to use one strategy, and all the players had the same ability. And it's stupid, bro. The variability is what makes the game the game. Guys, I told you out the gate, bro, that this was the real things, bro. So yeah, Jedis, they know, bro. We don't do Mickey Mouse over here, bro. We're not talking about dog crap. We're doing the real stuff. Yeah, all that stupid stuff, let's leave that for the babies. They drink milk and fucking honey. Here we eat the meats of the real shit. Okay, so let's go beyond the archetypes. Yeah, what's the source? So in the physical realm, we see the source of all life as the sun. I'm not taking questions. Which means that, but what's actually behind? What is it? We're limited by our perception to see what actually truly is. We can't see it fully in its full glory. We don't have the ability to see it. It's like an ant walking on my leg. It can't possibly visualize what I am. It literally can't. It can't. You understand? So the archetypes, yeah, the 14 houses, if you like, they themselves emerge from the primal source of undivided consciousness. Remember, the whole one, the one thing, the real eye of consciousness, the I, the one, yeah, the one thing. So the archetypes, they exist as patterns, yeah, aspects, angles, divisions of the one thing. But they are not absolute, bro. So you can't say that God is fixed or mutable or cardinal, or God is just air or fire or water or earth or ether, or God is, you can't. You understand? They are just filters. Yeah? Filters through which the light is expressed in this realm. Do you understand? So 14 different filters, one light. So if the one light is shining through the 14 different filters, and we have red, yellow, green, blue, blah, 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 all these colors, and you sit down and tell me that God is red, or God is yellow, or God is blue, or God is green, or what the fuck are you talking about, bro? They're just filters. So when the Christians and stuff, they talk about the Holy Ghost fire, and God is a fire, and he's a shut up, bro. It's just one filter. You can't even see the whole wood from the trees, bro. Do you understand? The archetypes themselves, they emerge from, they are like just the filters that the light is shining through. But the crazy thing is, the archetypes themselves emerge from the one thing itself. So it's like the light itself projects in front of it these filters, and then the light itself has the modifiers, yeah, to adjust how the light goes through the filters. Do you understand? To shine through in this particular realm that we call the physical. Some people call this place Earth, but Earth is a program. If you don't know, go check out my video that you're not even on Earth, bro. Facts. So the sun, or what we can deduce as pure awareness, shines through these constructs, bro. But the sun itself is not bound by the 14 houses, and the sun is not bound by its modifiers, i.e. the wandering stars. It's not bound by it. They are all in front of it. Yeah, and we see it in real life. What's the first rule of the Hermetic principles, bro? Alright, cool. So the sun itself is not bound by them. It might appear that the sun is dipped, and the sun has gone into Leo, now is strong, or the sun's lost energy, but it appears to us here in this realm, because in actual fact, where the sun actually resides, truly, there's no loss of energy. There are no houses. There's no restriction. There are no modifiers. All those things are things that it is using to project us here. So the true goal of spiritual awakening, because that's what we've been doing this whole time, yeah? But I like to play and stuff, but truly that's what we've been doing, is to recognize that the archetypes are tools rather than identities. Yeah, so don't own your star sign. Yeah, don't come and own your fucking, they are identities. Yeah. And the key is to realize that beyond the circuit board, beyond the ecliptic, that's where your true unconditioned self is. That's where source itself resides. That's where you yourself truly resides. So when you attach to your body, you're no different from a person that's attached to your star sign. When you're attached to your body, you're no different from a person that is attached to retrograde. Oh my God, it's a retrograde. Do you understand? And truly, truly, you'll be bound by it too. Because what you believe, you make real. Because you are... Okay. So like I said, the zodiac, the planetary alignments, the retrogrades and all the rest of it, and all the additional variables, they serve as a framework, if you like, a dynamic one. A kind of... what do I call it? Like a celestial distillation or celestial filtration system that differentiates or splits the one into many. Goat level shit, bro. But beyond all the archetypes, yeah, beyond all the configurations, the core light of consciousness remains untouched, eternal and unbound. That's who you truly are, bro. And that's who I truly am. So yeah, as always, with love, catch you on the other side. Hey Jedis, I'll fuck with you guys, man. Heavy, yeah. Keep doing the work, keep learning, and I'll keep bringing the fucking heat, all right? Because these truths are supposed to be known at this time, and the breadcrumbs are supposed to be left for the future generations, because believe me, like.